Me 32 male and wife 30 female have been married for 3 years, together for 5 years. We live in Colombo, Sri Lanka at the moment. My wife's boss is 36 married with 2 kids. So the story starts with her cheating on me with her boss when we were having the relationship. I caught her going to a hotel room with her boss. One of my friends worked there and he took photos of them. I immediately confronted her and she denied it, saying I'm crazy. Then I showed the photos and she finally admitted to cheating. This happened when we were having the relationship for around 1 year. I immediately broke up with her and blocked her number, social media, etc. But after 2 weeks, she came to see me and was begging to start our relationship. She said it was a mistake. She wasn't thinking straight and she was stressed with her work and said everyone deserves a second chance. So I was dumb enough to give her a second chance and started the relationship again. But I set up some rules like checking her phone whenever I want, keeping an eye on her, and asked to stop all chatting and calls with her boss unless it is work related. She agreed and everything went well. We got married in 2019 and everything was so perfect until last year December. Last year December my wife got a promotion at work and she said she wants to give her boss a dinner treat for that. We argued a lot about this and she blamed me for my insecurity. And she said that I should trust her because I didn't see any suspicious activity so far after the first time of cheating back in 2018. So she organized the dinner in one of the most luxury hotels here. Mostly people go there for romantic dinners, to propose, etc. And it was a candlelight dinner, and I said I'm not feeling comfortable with that. She again blamed me I'm full of insecurity, and promised me nothing will happen. She took a day off from work on that dinner treat day and went to salon in the afternoon to do her eyebrows and a facial. She usually do this before a wedding or any special party. So at this point I felt something is going on. And she selected a more open and revealing dress, but I didn't too much argue about that because she already blamed several times saying I'm insecure. She went to the dinner and I asked to get back by 10 p.m. She wasn't home by 10 p.m. So I decided to call her and she did not answer the phone. I called her several times and she didn't answer the phone. She returned back at 2 a.m. I was so mad and asked why she didn't answer the phone, what took it so long, etc. in a very angry way. She very calmly said don't freak out. We went for a walk after the dinner and just had a friendly talk. I didn't believe it for a second but couldn't do anything about it either. So I just slided past. This year January my wife said she has to go to Maldives with her boss for a business meeting with a potential client and said she has to stay there for 5 days. I went crazy as soon as I heard this and we started fighting. She started to blame me again, saying I'm full of insecurity and I'm crazy that I don't have a proper social life. I've been WFH since the pandemic started. She went the business trip and everything felt okay for the first 3 days. At least I felt okay, not sure about what happened there, but after the day 3 I didn't get any calls from her or couldn't call her. It said that she is out of the coverage area. At this point I lost all faith in my wife and knew something is probably going on. After she returned I asked what happened after day 3. And she said that the client had a private resort in a separate island and he invited them there, and said there's no reception in that island. I asked more details about this resort and island and she said she doesn't remember anything because the client organized everything, and they just got on a boat and went there. Sorry for all the long paragraphs. I just want to give the full context here. My mind is seriously fucked up right now because my gut says something is going on but I don't have any solid evidence. Any tips, ideas or suggestions are highly appreciated. Thank you. Edit. Thank you guys all for all the tips and suggestions. So I decided to go for the divorce and I left home for 4 days to spend some time alone in a beach resort I always go. Wrote a letter to her and left it in home asking for divorce and just some stuff about her boss and her. I gave her 4 days to pack her stuff and go find a new place for her. And when I'm back, I'll start by meeting the lawyer. She called me like 10 times now and I didn't answer at first but finally decided to talk with her because she kept calling me. I will do a detailed post soon. Thanks a lot again. Update. So the day before yesterday I took 1 week off from work and booked a hotel for 4 days and left home with a letter to her. In the letter I said that I know you are fucking your boss again and I know everything happened at the dinner and the 5 days business trip, actually I don't, and some stuff, and that I have decided to go for divorce. Also I gave her 4 days to pack her stuff and go find a new place for her. I switched off my phone when I left the home because I didn't want her to bother me with her endless calls while driving. I went to the hotel, checked in, switched on my phone and banged 13 missed calls and messages were flooding. I just scrolled the messages, had a look and didn't reply. She called me sometime after. I answered and she was crying, saying sorry for what she did and told me we can still fix this. I'm tired after a long drive and not in the mood to talk, so asked her to call tomorrow and hang up the phone. She asked for the hotel I'm at so she can come and talk to me in person, but I said I don't want to see you. She called me again yesterday, and we talked like for 2 hours. I asked her, do you admit to cheating with your boss? And her answer was, I can explain everything. Please let me see you and explain everything. And I asked, did you FCK your boss on that dinner date? And again her answer was the same. This went on for several other questions I asked, and I got mad and yelled at her, come on, for once at least be honest and answer my fucking questions. Then she said it all happened last December. She wanted to get the promotion, so she had a deal with her boss. She gets the promotion and her boss gets to fuck her once. And she promised nothing happened from 2018 up to last year December. They both took a day off last December before the dinner date and fucked the whole day. She also said that they decided to end and not mess up after, but accidentally had sex on the dinner date as well. And the bullshit business trip was just for 2 days. They have extended it by 3 days to spend time together. And she said that she's ready to sacrifice anything to save our marriage and will go no contact with her boss and quit her job. She said she doesn't love him or anything. She just wanted to have some fun and that's all. And said that she was planning to have kids this year and so she won't be able to have fun again like that. So decided to play a little bit before that, etc. And she said that if I'm mad about her Maldives trip with her boss and to fix everything, let's go to Maldives next week. It's really close to here and just a 2-hour cheap flight. I immediately said no, because I know if I go this trip with her I would probably change the decision. She said several times that she is ready to do whatever it takes to save our marriage. So I'm pretty solid with my decision to divorce her. But still a part of my heart loves her. I know you guys get probably mad at me for that. Last time called me cuckold, lesbian, dormant guy, etc. But I really King loved her hell a lot. It's not easy to wipe out the feelings and love I had for her in all these years. And a big thanks to all the guys who commented and helped me. My fiancé and mother of child cheated with my brother. Her and I have been together 12 years. 5 years ago I had set up a family gathering for my daughter 8mo to be baptized and had made my older brother the godfather of my daughter. Directly after the baptism, my whole family, about 50 people, met at my house for a baptism party. A few hours into the event, and I realized my woman was nowhere to be found. I started to look everywhere for her, realizing my brother was also missing from the party. I ran to the driveway loaded with cars and saw them between 2 open car doors, nose to nose. I immediately approached them, realizing my brother's penis was fully erect, and my fiancé had just pulled up her top. I yelled, tell me what the F***K is going on here. They looked terrified as she spoke up and said with a grin, we're drunk. As my brother fumbled with his erection, I wanted to attack them both right there. Instead, I went into the house, got my keys, and left in a rage of pain and emotion. I called them immediately and demanded answers. They said nothing had happened and LM just going crazy over nothing. He just so happened to be erect as they isolated themselves away from the party. I moved out for a month, visiting my baby girl every day, and had my ex begging me to come home and swore to God nothing had happened. My brother also was telling me, no brother, I would never do that to you. Never. After months and months of begging for the truth and sobbing for closure from the both of them, I still was told nothing happened. She wanted to make it work, so we set up a counseling appointment with my pastor, who I've known since I was a child, and that had baptized my daughter that very day they decided to cheat. He has known my brother and I closely since we were in first grade. At the therapy session, she had put her hand on the Bible and swore that nothing had happened. I moved back home after the torture of being away from my beautiful baby girl, and periodically begged for the truth, causing arguments as she felt I did not have the right to accuse her, over and over, year after year. We then had a second daughter, and I asked her to marry me again in front of her entire family on Christmas Day 2017. One night 3 weeks ago, it dawned on me to tell her I already knew what happened and that my brother had come clean. Now I asked for her side of the story. She started off by telling me, your brother came up behind me as I leaned into the car and stuffed his fingers inside of me. As he did this, I turned around and started kissing him, rubbing his penis through his pants. Then he took out my breasts and played with them, and then we saw you coming and immediately separated. That was her story. Devastated, I then asked my brother for his side of the story. The very next morning I asked him what had happened, and he gave me a very similar story. But when I asked him if he had sex with my wife that night, all he repeated was, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. When I told my fiancé about what my brother had apologized for, she started screaming, telling me to get out. I left and immediately called my brother, letting him know what she had said and her side of the story, and he told me that is not at all what happened. His story was that they were standing there, and she was telling him how she has always fantasized about having sex with him and how bad she wanted him, and then she started kissing him. And that's when he pulled her breast out and put his fingers inside of her as she touched his penis. I went back to my fiancé asking her why she had lied about the way the incident that happened, and she continued to deny my brother's story. I have completely lost my mind over this while still living here taking care of my baby girls and looking her in the eyes and knowing that the woman I love has been with my brother every time she touches me, knowing that my brother has been inside her and kiss your lips and touch your breasts, and knowing her hands had been on his penis absolutely disgusts me and devastates me beyond comprehension. I have wept 4 weeks now since finding this out and still getting 2 different stories. I also started in therapy and have not made much progress in the 2 sessions that I've had so far. I need all the help I can get. I'm falling apart as a man. I have no dignity. I have no trust. I have no family. The only thing that keeps me here is my baby. I've been going through the worst depression of my life, and I've never been depressed one day in my life previous to this. I have not been able to sleep. I do not enjoy the woman that I'm in love with. I can't lay next to her without wanting to crawl out of my skin. Any insight into what my next move should be or how anyone could possibly help me get through something so horribly devastating would be so greatly appreciated. I'm falling apart more every day. Sincerely, a loving father of 2.